The next thing we're going to talk about class is work ethics. And I went ahead and listed this as student and work ethics, but it's really, we're learning how to become a CNA. This is part of our introduction in how to become a CNA and to do a good job with it. We need good work ethics. And to be a good student, we need a good student ethics as well. So we're going to start with professionalism. And we talked about professionalism a little bit in that first chapter that we looked at, but professionalism involves following laws. Okay, laws are things that we can and can't do, but we also need to make sure that we're ethical in our choices. So ethics are what we should and shouldn't be doing. Laws are what we can and can't do. Ethics are what we should and shouldn't be doing. So we want good work ethics and we want good skills to do our work well. We want to pay attention to our hygiene and our appearance. That's part of professionalism as well. And we want to come rested and ready to work. You come into the clinical setting and you're falling asleep before we even get started with our patient care. You're not ready. Okay, I'm going to need to send you home because you need to be rested and ready to do your job and ready to do best for those residents. How we look makes a huge difference in how people feel about the care that they're getting and about their willingness to have you care for them. So if you look at our gentleman here on the left and he has a headband on and he has a tank top and he's got his pants, not even up at his waist, and his shirt's, got a funny saying on it, and he basically looks unkept. He may be the best nurse in the world. He may be the best CNA in the entire world, but nobody's going to want to be cared for by him because he looks unprofessional. And when people look unprofessional, people are afraid that they're going to get unprofessional care. Now I have this CNA over here who is dressed appropriately. Her hair's off of her face. She has minimal makeup on, no tattoos showing, minimal jewelry. And so this person, she looks professional. And so people are going to feel more trusting and feel more comfortable having them care for them. When we go to get a job, one thing I'm going to tell you is there are so many jobs for CNAs. There's such a shortage right now for CNAs in the home care setting and in the nursing home. Hospitals are hiring as well, but nursing homes and home care are having an extreme shortage. Staff is looking at the students for future employees, and the last semester when we were at the clinical facility, the director came and handed job applications to every one of my students and said, apply. You can't leave here till you apply. She wanted to hire every one of them. But the staff is looking at you to see, are you caring? Are you dependable? Do you come on time? Are you considerate? Are you cheerful and empathetic? Empathetic is being able to put yourself in that other person's place. Sympathy, yeah, I feel sorry for the person. Empathy is, I can really get a feeling of what they must feel like in that situation. Are you trustworthy? Are you respectful and courteous and conscientious? Are you honest and cooperative and enthusiastic about doing the job and self-aware? These things are what employees are looking for. So many of the employees, one of the things that you're going to find is these are called soft skills. Okay, they're called soft skills. And these are things that they don't really feel that they can teach you. So when a person employs a CNA, they want you to have good skills. They want you to be able to do your scope of practice and you do a really good job, really good job with your work. But they're also looking for these soft skills. Are you considerate? Are you dependable? Can they trust you? Are you courteous? Are you respectful? Because that they don't feel they can teach you. And they want both, but if they have to pick only one, they're usually going to go with the soft skills, because what they're finding is if you don't know how to give a perfect bed bath, they can help teach you. You don't know how to give a shower in a timely manner, they can work with you and help you with that, but they can't teach you to be empathetic and they can't teach you to be considerate. So they're looking at they want both of those things, but if they can only find one of them, they'll take the soft skills and they will train you themselves in those procedural skills. The other thing is that I want to mention here is, especially in hospital situations, not so much in nursing homes, but right now, I don't know if you're aware, but hospitals are required to send out um, evaluations after a person goes home. After they get discharged from the hospital, they're going to get an evaluation. Did you like your care here? And was your staff considerate? Did they answer your questions? Did they get back to you in a timely manner? It goes through all these questions, and depending on what these surveys show, is going to impact their reimbursement. So Medicare is saying, you know what, if you can't give good quality care to our patients, and Medicare is the biggest healthcare provider out there, biggest insurance provider out there. And so they're saying, you know what, if you can't give our patients really good quality care, you shouldn't get reimbursed for as much. And so they have these set standards or benchmarks of what they expect the surveys to show when people, get back on a survey of how well they liked the hospital. If overall they're below the standard or the benchmark for California, reimbursement decreases. So instead of getting maybe $5,000 for that procedure, now they're only going to give you $4,000 because you didn't do as good a job as you could have. So this is really impacting reimbursement at this point. So hospitals are really concerned about these soft skills. And this is something that they've actually hired CNAs now to just go and answer lights and just go and have an extra pair of hands on board so people aren't having to wait so long to get their call light answered, because they're so worried about, making sure that those patient surveys are really good. And the problem is let's be realistic. Who generally fills a survey out? I mean, every place sends you a survey. You go get your car service, they give you a survey. You go to the grocery store, they give you a survey. You go to the pharmacy, they give you a survey. They're just almost nauseating because they're everywhere. So most people throw half of them away if they were happy. If they were pissed, they have no problem sitting down and filling it out and voicing their complaints. And so that's human nature. They say if you're happy with a place that you'll usually tell 1 to 3 people. If you're unhappy with something, you'll tell up to 10 people. So what's happening with these surveys is they send them out to everybody, but let's face it, the people who usually stop and fill them out are the people who weren't as happy with their care as a general rule. So it really makes it tough. And so it's something that, these soft skills have gotten extremely important. Now, in a nursing home, this isn't the case. They don't do those surveys upon discharge. So at this point, it's not impacting their reimbursement, but that may change over time. Teamwork is a very, very important part of healthcare. And I know sometimes, especially when you're going to school and it's like, gosh, you want your grades to be the best over that person's grades because that'll help you get into the nursing program. And sometimes it seems like you're trying to best all your coworkers or your classmates, but you really need good teamwork. You can't survive in nursing without good teamwork. These patients, many of them they're going to be big, they're going to be multiple disabilities. They can't help you move, and you have to rely on help. And in healthcare, remember that photo I showed you in one of the previous chapters, how the nurse connects with every component of the healthcare team, the respiratory therapist, the social service, the doctor. We need good teamwork to make that care the optimal for that patient. And so good teamwork, part of it is being on time and ready to work. You're going to see this sometimes when we go into the clinical setting in the nursing home, and it's very, very frustrating. Their shift starts at 6:45. They're supposed to be there at 6:45. Some of them trickle in at 7 or 7:15. Who's watching those patients right then? Or sometimes a nurse calls in late. They call in sick late, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and the nurse says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't come in today." Okay, and now even if they can call and find somebody else to replace them, and the person who's coming in can't get there for another hour and a half before they can get in, that means for an hour and a half, who's watching those patients? So yes, they're going to tell the other CNAs, hey, so-and-so's late, make sure you watch their patients, but they're so busy with the patients they have that those people are really lacking in that care during that time frame. It's important to be on time. It's important to be ready to work. You need to have a good attitude while you're there. And I know as students, you're usually super eager and you're so excited about doing this, and you're going to get there and you're going to see some of these CNAs that they're tired and they're a little burnt out, and maybe they're not quite as friendly to you as you think they should be, or as helpful as you think they should be. One thing I want to tell you is please don't criticize or judge them until you walk in their shoes for a while. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is keep in mind as well, some of these clinical sites we go to, one of the clinical sites we go to, we're the only CNA group that goes up to them, and they're so excited. Oh gosh, it's student day, yay! And they're all happy and it's super cool. But one of the places we go to, they have students every single day, at least 5 days a week, some of them 6 days a week. So 5 to 6 days a week, they have students, and some of them have students on more than one shift. They'll have them on day shift and on afternoon shift. So can you imagine as a CNA, you come in on Monday and here's this bright, cheerful, happy student. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm here to help you. And how do I do this? And how do I do this? And where's this? And how's this? And how's this? And then the next day, a whole new student comes in. Oh, I'm so happy. And where's this? And how's this? And then Wednesday, a whole nother student comes in. And then Thursday, another student comes in. It's exhausting. You guys, it is exhausting to have new students with you. Okay. And I'm just being honest here. Once you get the hang of things, so after we've been there for 5 or 6 weeks and you've got the hang of their routines and how to do the basic skills, they are going to be so happy to have you because you're so much help to them. But those first few weeks were a lot of work to them. So, and some of them are really, by the end of the week, they're kind of tired of having students. So you have to keep that in mind and don't take it personally when they kind of snap at you or they don't seem as helpful to you as they should be. Just give them a big smile and keep on moving, okay? And just get your clinical instructor and we'll help you. You want to avoid gossip. Gossip is very detrimental in the healthcare workforce. So, I mean, it's human nature. I mean, if I said, oh my gosh, wait till I tell you what that nurse over there was doing yesterday. I mean, you'd be, what? I mean, it's human nature to want to know, but we really want to avoid gossip. It's very unethical. It's very unprofessional, and it starts a lot of rumors that shouldn't be started. Confidentiality. We're going to be talking about confidentiality in quite a bit of detail in a little bit later section. But confidentiality, we have a responsibility to make sure we keep confidential information confidential. We don't share it with people who don't need to know it. So it is okay to share information about the patient with other members of the healthcare team that are taking care of them. But if you're not taking care of a patient, you don't have any business knowing what's going on with them. Okay, you don't need to know about every patient in that facility. You just need to know about the patients you're taking care of. And we'll be talking about this in more detail. We need to watch our speech and our language. No cuss words. Language. Let's say you speak Italian and your coworker speaks Italian. And so you're in that patient's room and you two are conversing in Italian over the patient's head. That patient is going to feel excluded. They're going to feel like you're talking about them. When you're in a patient's room, if they're English, you speak English to them. If they're Spanish and you know Spanish, you can speak Spanish to them. But otherwise, you're not supposed to be having private, personal conversations in a patient's room, that they're not included in. We always want to be courteous. And the other thing I cannot stress is pay attention to your break times. If your break is a half hour, that means if your lunch break is from 12 to 12:30, that means you leave at 12 and at 12:30 you're back reporting to duty so you can get to work. It doesn't mean at 12:30 you're pulling into the parking lot and running up to the door. Okay. Job safety. We always want to make sure part of good teamwork is making sure we keep the job safe for our residents, but safe for us and our coworkers as well. And one of the big things we're going to be learning to do while we're at the facility is we're going to learn how to plan and organize our care so we can give good, efficient care and get good care to everybody who needs it. Okay. So we'll take a little break right here, and then we'll be continuing in a few moments.